everybody, and welcome to Poland Daily Travel. We're in Legnica, otherwise as it used to be known, Little Moscow, a name that's very popular these days, at least in the press. You'll see behind me the Kino Ognisko. That's where the first film was shown. It was the first cinema in this part of the world, and the first film was shown there in 1945, just after the war. It's seen better days, but you see the mass of tragedy and comedy over the entrance. What a shame. But it's an example. The reason we start with this is we're going to see a lot of different kind of architecture as we walk right straight to the center. Across from this block is the best hotel in town, a brand new, not brand new, but a relatively new sky-rise hotel, and the shopping center, the top shopping center in the whole area. But what a shame it hasn't been redone. Ognisko means fire. Yeah, means fire. And looks like it had a bomb go off, doesn't it? Okay, let's move on. Right, look at this beautiful building from the early 18th century. This was a nunnery, and after that, in the 19th century, it became a school. That's right, it's still a school today, I believe. And that's an example, a prime example of German architecture of the 18th century. How about that? And across the street, you see the church, which is the oldest building in town. We talked about it a lot in the last episode. Oldest building in town. And then the pedestrian street that we're going to walk down and look at some of the other architecture. Okay, that building dates from 1200 and of course was remodeled by the Germans, from what I understand. Anyway, let's move on, we got a lot to see. This is Castle Street and main pedestrian street running to the center. This is a good place to show you some of the transitions. Well, first of all, you see the very modern, brand new, it looks like to me, couldn't have been up in very long, I'm guessing 2, 3, 4 years, shopping center, the Piast Gallery, because this is the city of the Piasts. You know, they were here for 700 years until the Austrian Empire. So the city's about 1,000 years old. I mean, this is one of the original, one of the oldest settlements in Poland, you know, like Poznan and Gniezno and Wrocław and so forth, right? Now, this is nice. You can see the church we just came from, Maurice's Church, which is a school now. There again is the St. Mary's Church, which is beautiful, but closed to the public for some reason, don't know why. Tried to go in earlier, but it is closed. You see that's been restyled apparently by the Germans when they took over in the early 1700s from the Habsburgs. So it was Austrians, Polish for 700 years, then Austrians, then Germans or Prussians. And here we see a 500-year-old, that's a burger house, a tenement house they call them. They call them tenement houses, but it looks nice, doesn't it? So they are making efforts, and this house over here is nice too. It's a later, much later. This is 19th century, late 19th century, or early 20th century. But there are gaps. You see, it gives you a beautiful look at the best hotel in town, which is 3 stars, or maybe 4. And but there are gaps. You see, you have this nice square, great views, brand new shopping center, but there are gaps. This is what happens when the Russians are in charge of your town for, God, how long was it again? From 45 till they left in the early 90s. But more of that in a subsequent episode. We're going to talk about Little Moscow. It deserves its own episode. Come on. I like this building. Look at this. It's been carefully restored. 1611 this was done on the schoolmaster's house. It's right built into the facade of the shopping center here. They've really done a good job integrating it, which is fantastic. respect for the for the history and the architecture of the past. Now, this represents the liberal arts, you see, grammar, dialectics, music, arithmetic, astronomy, and so forth. And you see the muses for each one. It's really cool. I like this a lot. But can you believe it was covered up? It was actually covered up by the during the German times in the late 19th century, right? And only uncovered again in 1972. So one good thing done under communism and under Russianism, because the Russians weren't really in charge here at that time. At any rate, it's very nice. Let's move on. So you see the nice scene behind me with the St. Mary's Church. We just came from there. And I'm going to go sit on this bench and relax a little bit. Just relax while I look towards the town hall. And we walked a lot yesterday and the day before, so I'm just taking it easy on myself. See you in a minute. And right. So we've arrived in the center. There's the Cathedral of St. Peter and St. Paul. Here's the nice chunk that's been of the Old Town, right in the center of the Old Town Square that's been renovated in pretty good shape and possibly lasted some time. The rest of it not so good, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. See you tomorrow night. Don't forget to like us on YouTube and Facebook. That was a great architectural tour, wasn't it? Well, it was a good walk anyway. You can do the same. Just come to Legnica. See you tomorrow night.